Good morning, all. Welcome back to the discussion of chapter number 2 from trade to territory. In this chapter, today we are going to learn about Battle of Plassey and how company was extending its boundary over subcontinent India. In the previous one, we have learned about how the European countries who were coming to trade with our country have now established themselves as a domain in India. And the most important one here is the British East India Company. They have extended their boundaries from Bengal, and as a result, they have the first battle for acquiring the Diwani of Bengal in Plassey, which was led by Robert Clive, and it was against Sirajud-Dowla, the Nawab of Bengal. It was won by the East India Company because one of their trusted commander, Mir Jafar, did not participate in battle. He didn't do that because he had a deal at the back of Sirajud-Dowla that if he didn't participate in war, he will be installed as the new Nawab of Bengal. But when Mir Jafar also could not prove himself a meek puppet ruler controlled by British, the company deposed him and installed Mir Qasim in his place. And again, Mir Qasim was complaining the same thing what Mir Jafar was saying. As a result, Mir Qasim was deposed and Mir Jafar was reinstalled again. This game of installing the new Nawab and deposing the other was long and was a tired and sickening. Instead of installing a puppet ruler or Nawab in Bengal, company appointed itself from the Mughal emperor to be the Diwani of Bengal and to extract the revenue resources from it. As you know that now East India Company has become the Diwani of Bengal, that is the one who has the right to collect the revenue from the Bengal province. The company officials become Nawabs. After the Battle of Plassey, the Nawabs of Bengal were forced to give land and vast sum of money as a personal gift to company officials. This new money and power corrupted company officials and servants. They too began dreaming of living like the Nawabs. Britain was a poor country in those days, constantly fighting with the European neighbors, and most of the East India Company staff came from very poor English homes. So, becoming Nawab became an Anglo-Indian term used by the East India Company, and they become rich by the practicing the corrupt trade. The rule of the company did not end just by occupying the Bengal province. They extended their rule and boundary by fighting the other battles as well. Like Battle of Buxar, the company appointed resident officer in Indian states. They were politically or commercial agents, and their job was to serve and further the interest of the company. The moment they find the dynastic court or the ruler unable to control the affairs of the state, they inform the company and try to annex it and bring it under the East India Company rule. The company began forcing the Indian state into joining the subsidiary alliance, a partnership between ruling country and the country that is being ruled, according to which Indian rulers were not allowed to have their independent army or armed force, but they have to pay for the armed force which is maintained on their behalf by the company. The drawback of the subsidiary alliance was even the money or the wealth was expended by the rulers, but it was maintained or it was under the direct command of East India Company. The local ruler also had to pay the subsidiary forces the company promised to maintain for the purpose of their protection. This is something which was not, accepted by all the rulers here. Why? Because they are expending the lot of amount of money to have these armed forces, and these armed forces whom they are paying so much are not in their direct control, because of which dispute happens and Indian rulers failed to make the payment. Their territory was annexed by the East India Company. The example of such things or such was happening is Awadh and Hyderabad, who were ceded because of this ground only, that they were not able to pay for the armed forces. Now, we have learned about Battle of Plassey, Battle of Buxar. It is important to understand that how the other regions of our country were occupied and annexed by the East India Company. The first we talk about Tipu Sultan, who is famously known as the Tiger of Mysore. When the company saw threat to its political or economic interests, it resorted to direct military confrontation. Till now, there were policies which was implemented by East India Company to cede and to annex the territories and the region. But Mysore was neither into the subsidiary alliance, neither or nor into the other policies. So they resort to the direct military confrontation here. Mysore was extremely powerful region under Hyder Ali and his son Tipu Sultan. Company purchased pepper and cardamom from the Malabar coast. Tipu Sultan stopped the export of sandalwood, pepper and cardamom through the port of his kingdom and disallowed local merchants from trading with the company. This angered the company very much, and company lost 4 wars to Mysore. But in the last one, the Battle of Seringipatnam, the company won and Tipu Sultan was killed, and thus Mysore was ceded by the EIC, that is East India Company. The similar fate was of Marathas. The company also subdued the Maratha in the series of war. Like the Tipu Sultan's Mysore, Maratha or the Maratha kingdom was not coming under the British Company, neither under by the subsidiary alliance, neither by or nor by their other policies. So Mahatji Scindia and Nana Fandis were two major or two famous Maratha soldiers and statesmen of the late 18th century. When the first Anglo-Maratha War, that is the British and Maratha War, ended in 1782, the Treaty of Salabai was created a no clear victor. The Second Anglo-Maratha War, from 1803 to 1805, was fought on different fronts and resulted in British gaining Odisha and territories from north of Yamuna River, including Agra and Delhi. The Third Anglo-Maratha War, from 1817 to 19, crushed the Maratha power, and so the Maratha kingdom was ceded and annexed by the British East India Company. Now, other than resorting to the direct military forces to occupy the territory, or it is subsidiary alliance or any other policy of the British people to have occupied the region and empire of our country. By this time, that is by 1820s, a large portion of our country was under the direct East India Company's rule. There were the other policies like the claim to paramountcy. We will have a elaborate discussion about the other policy like doctrine of lapse and other things, which resulted in a more extreme domination of Britishers in our country. This is something which we will continue in our other video. Till then, read the chapter and complete your assignment to have better understanding of the same.